The best team in the NBA resides in Denver, Colorado, behind Nikola Jokic, who is without a doubt the best player in the world at this point. They've gone out and gotten a competent bench to be able to support Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, guys like that, and they also bring in Cam Johnson, who's going to have probably the best year of his career in Denver this season. And this is a team that should scare the rest of the league because you also have internal development from guys like Julian Strawther and maybe even Daron Holmes or Peyton Watson that could take over the league. This is why I think they're going to win the championship this year. And of course, having the best player in the world obviously helps your case for being the best team in the league. And Nikola Jokic is the biggest reason why I think they can dethrone the Thunder as NBA champs. I mean, you see the stat line from last year. Ridiculous, especially when you take a look at the efficiency. And if you take out his half-court heaves, he's shooting like 45% from three. Now, this duo has proven that they can win a championship. They've done it before, obviously. And with Jokic in the middle, they love centering their offense around him, playing him, in the middle of that defense, and then just getting him the ball whenever they can. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists versus the Bulls in the preseason game in 24 minutes. Shot 7 of 10 from the field, did not attempt a 3, however. And like I said, when you watch Nuggets basketball, it all flows through Jokic in the middle of the floor. Now, his shot making in mid-range is ridiculous. It's unblockable at this point, very similar to like a Dirk Nowitzki. And if he takes that step back and shoots it from behind his head, Larry Bird style, you don't have a chance in the world. I love what the Nuggets did, sending out Michael Porter Jr. and being able to go out and get impact players like Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown, and Jonas Valanciunas, because the biggest thing they needed last year was depth. And sure, Michael Porter Jr. was great. He was a guy that could go off on any given night, but he was getting paid $38.3 million, and it really handicapped what you could do with this roster financially. So they bring in Cam Johnson on a $21 million contract, who is considerably cheaper than MPJ, to say the least. $17 million is what you're saving there, and you're arguably getting a better player. Bring in Valanciunas on a $10 million deal, convince him to not go overseas and play. Bring back Bruce Brown on about a $3 million deal, and then you also get Tim Hardaway Jr. away from Detroit to come get a championship for about $3.6 million. So adding all those together, you still come up a little bit short of $38.3 million. So turning what was arguably your biggest weakness last year, your bench and your depth, into maybe one of your bigger strengths. And playing alongside of Jokic, Cam Johnson will get exponentially better throughout the course of this season because he's playing alongside the best passer in the world. He averaged 19 a game with 4.3 rebounds and 3.4 assists in 32 minutes last year in Brooklyn, while shooting 48% from the field and 39% from 3 on 7 attempts, and he only played 57 games. Expect him to play, 70 to 75 games. The 6'8 wing with a 6'10 wingspan is going to have a major impact on both sides of the ball for this Nuggets team. Look at him right here, stripping Buzelis and going the other way. Something that the Nuggets really thrived on last year was their transition offense, and then just coming off this DHO right here and getting the 3-ball. Once again, coming off another DHO and knocking down another 3-ball, this time off the assist from Jokic. But they come out of the horn set here, and watch how they set it up. This is a couple plays earlier. They get it to Aaron Gordon and throw him the lob. So now the defender has to stay back and help off this screen. Giddy, they try and switch it. Doesn't work. Cam Johnson's going to get a wide open 3. Beautiful basketball right there by the Denver Nuggets. And then you get to Bruce Brown, who comes back to Denver after leaving, getting his bag. Now he's coming back to win another championship. 8.2 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.4 assists last year, shot 41% from the field, 36% from 3 on 2 attempts a night, and gives you a little bit of everything with his veteran presence off the bench. Just a guy that knows how to win. Like right here, sliding into the open area and knocking down this 3-ball off the pass from Tim Hardaway Jr. Beautiful basketball. Brown and Brown defense attorneys are back in Denver as well. And then as for Jonas Valanciunas, you don't really get a break at the center position if you're facing the Denver Nuggets, because Jokic comes off and then you got to face this 6'11", 265-pound angry man coming off the bench that's just going to bully you like he does to Mason Plumlee right here. Get out of the way. I'm coming through. 10.4 points per game, 7.5 rebounds a game last year in just 19 minutes. Expect him to play about 15 to 16 minutes this year, 55% shooting from the field, or maybe even less than that, because, Jokic is going to need to play his 36 minutes a game. We'll see, though. Maybe they can let Jokic only play like 33 minutes a game if Valanciunas is giving them good minutes. We'll see how they work it out. because of course you can't keep Jokic off the floor, and maybe we see some Jokic at point with some Valanciunas at center. That would be exciting to see, although they probably couldn't defend my grandma in a phone booth. Now, as for Tim Hardaway Jr., 11 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.6 assists on 41% shooting from the field, 37% from 3 last year for Detroit, and now they bring him into Denver, and I really like the upside that he brings the squad. A guy that can really knock down the 3 ball, can just really score it overall, and can come in and change the course of a game instantly. This was their bench unit last year heading into the season, and I don't know how anybody expected them to win many games with that. Now they're working with this, which is, you're cooking with fish grease at this point with this bench lineup compared to last year's, bringing in 3 very proven veterans to go with Strother and Peyton Watson, and then the unknown like Daron Holmes, and of course Jalen Pickett, who has been, pretty dependable throughout the course of his career when called upon. Tamar Bates could be getting some minutes, but circling back to Daron Holmes, he hasn't really proved it so far in the preseason, but remember, he did just miss like 2 full seasons of basketball. 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan, so now coming back, fully recovered from the Achilles tear. Hopefully he is ready to make an impact, because at Dayton, he averaged 20 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 32 minutes while shooting 54% from the field and 39% from 3 on 2.6 attempts per game. He was an absolute dog. Backing him down, got a little fadeaway, got a little bit of the modern game with a little bit of the old-timer game as well. And then that comes to Jamal Murray, which is my favorite point to talk about when I'm talking Nuggets basketball, because last year he averaged 21.4 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds in 36 minutes, was their primary creator on the perimeter, and Nuggets fans want him gone. I don't get it. I mean, he shot 47% from the field and 39% from 3 last year on 6 attempts. This duo brought you a championship just a couple of years ago, and now you want him gone? And I get he's on a 4-year, $208 million contract, but now shedding the contract of MPJ should make this a little bit more bearable, especially for a guy that in the playoffs always rises. Now, last year it wasn't to the point that it has been in years past. You see the numbers, you see the efficiency here a little bit down, but keep in mind he was being hounded by the best perimeter defense maybe the league has ever seen, with 4 or 5 guys that can come out there and just box in the other team's best ball handler. He looked really good, though, against Chicago the other day, working out of the pick and roll here. Javon Carter's a good defender, and he just sets it behind his back and gets to his spot, knocking down a 3 ball. Finished with 30 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 9 of 18 shooting from the field. Did that in just 27 minutes, by the way. What is this sorcery? Hickory dickory, we got some trickery, shooting it off one leg coming off the screen, and then the pick and roll here, getting to the rim, finishing with the left hand headbutt. He was in his bag. You could tell, slipping a pass right here to Aaron Gordon as Josh Giddey gets caught sleeping, and then one-on-one, Ayodesumu, may I have this dance, taking it right to the rim and going off glass for the 2, and then working off this zoom screen from Jokic and Aaron Gordon, little ball fake, and then finishing with the left, now snaking the pick and roll. Good Gortat screen there from Valanciunas, and he gets it to roll. Big time game from Jamal Murray. Got me hoping for big things for him this year. And then Aaron Gordon, always going to run the floor, always going to catch the lobs, but now he's coming off screens and knocking down the 3 ball. You have to guard him on the perimeter at this point in his career. 17 points, 4 rebounds in 21 minutes, shot 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He's a guy that, in this point, at this evolution of Aaron Gordon in his game, he's hitting step-back threes, and you're going to have to guard that, which is a very scary sight if you're playing against the Denver Nuggets. We discussed this earlier. They do not talk right here. They don't communicate on the back screen. Josh Giddey's tied up with Christian Brown, so he can't help. Post entry in the horn set to Nikola Jokic, and he finds Aaron Gordon for the lob. That's beautiful basketball. Very good set drawn up, but I mean, again, terrible defense by the Chicago Bulls. That's very fixable. As for Christian Brown, he looks like he is trying to carry on Russ's legacy and keep them out in transition, keep them as the best team in transition this season, and then also going off glass right there for the right-handed layup. Peyton Watson, big hopes for him this year because he could be a guy that can really level up off the bench and help the Nuggets. He's already one of their best perimeter defenders, best defenders overall. And then Julian Strother, another guy that I hope takes a step this year, although with a reduction in usage, maybe he doesn't. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Big time hopes for the Nuggets this year. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.